Welcome to Web Application Penetration Testing Professional. This is the very first lesson towards making our own virtual lab in order to attack and simulate the web application penetration testing. We will exploit and perform every attacks in the virtual labs. So we will create that lab on our own computer. So before going to install it and what kind of softwares we need, what kind of labs we need, let's check it out. To get started and creating our own virtual penetration testing lab, we first need the VirtualBox, a virtual machine from the Oracle. So we can download the VirtualBox from the virtualbox.org URL. You can see this URL and just go to this and download for yourself. Now the second one we need, that is the main part of this penetration testing course, that is WASP Broken Web Applications project. Basically this is the vulnerable web applications that can be used to exploit them, and there are several vulnerabilities exist. So let me show you how many vulnerabilities and how we can install that. And the third application and the third web application, you can say the third operating system we need to test for the web application vulnerabilities and audit them for weaknesses and loopholes. As you already know, the most advanced penetration testing distribution ever, that is Kali Linux. So I hope you are familiar with Kali Linux and the URL and the website, that is kali.org. So you can download if you do not have downloaded right now. Okay, so let me show you how we can install the WASP web applications, that is WASP BWA, Broken Web Applications. So this is already installed here. So let me install another set of virtual machine here in order to demonstrate. Okay, so let me create this new. So once you install the VirtualBox, you will get the same user interface here. So simply click the new in order to create the new machine. So just type the WASP BWA. As I have already with the same name, I will use another name, that is 1. Change the type here, that is Linux, and version will be Ubuntu 64-bit or 32-bit depending upon your system architecture. Click next. I recommend to use the memory for this virtual machine, I mean to say WASP BWA, for 512 MB, because this doesn't take more memory in order to run. So we do not have any issues with that. So just create 512 MB of memory size and click next. Now at this point we can add the existing hard disk file that we have already downloaded from sourceforge.net, that is WASP BWA. So once you downloaded the WASP BWA and extracted, unzipped, you will find all these files in your computer. So these are the basically virtual machines disk file. So now we need to choose. So virtual disk start from here. This is the first one. That is the really configuration, and we need to choose that. So this is the first file that will be added inside VirtualBox. So this is the use the existing virtual hard drive or hard disk file here. Click this and change and select the file from there. Now create, and the file and the virtual machine has been created. Now let me start. If you want to take configurations and configuration wizards, then you can simply click the settings here and it will show every details how you can configure that or reconfigure that, like if you are going for the network adapters. So it is recommended to use in NAT mode, that is network address translation, so that, and this machine, virtual machine, is really vulnerable. So we do not recommend to use in breeze mode or some other modes. So this is by default, leave it as it is. Now let's take a test and start it. So it has been started now, and once it is started, as I already told you that it doesn't take more memory, because once this virtual machine is started, we will just fire up the browser and we will take the IP address of this virtual machine once it is started, and we will navigate through the browser. So as I have already used the 512 MB of memory throughout this course, and this doesn't create any problem. Okay, so it started the PostgreSQL, that database server. At first startup, it takes some time to reconfigure it according to the for the first use of this virtual machine. So it will take for the first time. Okay, so now as you can see, it has started, and the IP address for this virtual machine is over the screen. That is, you can access the web apps at http:// and 10.0.2.15. And this also provides the username and the password for this virtual machine. If you are going for reconfiguration, if you want to reconfigure that, or if you want to change something inside this virtual machine, but I don't think you need to change that. Okay, so everything is up from here. As we can't use two virtual machines on the same adapters with the same configuration files, so it will not work with that IP address. So I will just power it off. Simply power it off always. It doesn't make sense to make it suspend. So I will use the first one that is reserved for that adapter. So the next step will be to configure or use. Actually, we do not need to configure the WASP BWA. We just need to fire up the browser and start using that applications inside the browser. I will show you each applications that has been used inside and throughout this course, so that you will be familiar where to make and go for practice and where to exploit, because every lessons is started with almost every exploitations are made over the WASP BWA. So to make you familiar, I will show you which applications are used for which cases. Okay, so this virtual machine, as I shown earlier, by creating a new virtual machine, it also starts in the similar way. So every application starts from here. So you can see the IP address, that is 192.168.43.11. Now this IP will be working when I go for this. So let me access this. Great. Now the WASP BWA is presented with multiple vulnerabilities and multiple applications that is vulnerable in real world. So going for the first, that is the DBWA, that is damn vulnerable web application. This application is used throughout the cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting, and many other vulnerabilities. So starting for this, simply type the username admin, and the password is also the admin. Now it is started. Okay, the next application that has been used throughout this course for the SQL injection is the WASP Bricks. So this is the WASP Bricks. You can use this for practice of and taking a challenge for injecting or making a blind SQL injection, or Boolean based or time based, or attacking the MySQL databases. So every attack for the SQL injection has been performed in this vulnerable web application, that is Bricks. So going through the Bricks login pages, or simply click the Bricks, and you will find all the vulnerabilities here. What kind of vulnerabilities are there? That is, the first one is file upload, content type, login pages, and a lot more. So going for the restricted file vulnerabilities, restricted file upload vulnerabilities, here we can check it. And in the lesson of the unrestricted file upload vulnerabilities, you will see all these phases. Okay, going back. Now the next application that has been used is WASP Matilda 2. This application is also feature-rich in the sense of vulnerabilities. You can check it by going to this menus, and here you can see the SQL injection with first order and second order, HTML injection, JavaScript injection, insecure direct object references, and misconfigurations attacks. So almost every attack is here to start practice and explore the web applications. So for the remote command executions and XML external entity attacks, this application has been used, that is WASP Material Data 2. And rest of the applications are also vulnerable. So you can see the description here, that is realistic, intentionally vulnerable applications. This is the old versions of the real applications, that is WordPress, Orange HRM, Gitboo, Yeast, Web Calendar, TikiWiki, that has been also used for exploiting when the outdated version or outdated applications has been used in the real world applications or real world scenarios. That is also the advanced web statistics used. It is also used as of now by various web providers, that is like GoDaddy and other domain199.com. So these are the applications and installations of this. So set up your lab before going to take the lessons, and so that you will be able to make a practice at the same time. Once you go for SQL injection, take the basics and start from there. Once you go for exploitations, exploit the web applications by going to security from low to high.